last life. On the top right side of Runes of Saras, he just got ultra'd to death. He got beaten to death with armor is what happened. It's Journey.
In the top left as the red Zerg. It's true.
So, I know I just released this ranty video where I talked about balance of the game and all these other things, and there's so many instances of it where I actually don't have a problem with ultras being that strong, right? Like, and hear me out. The problem isn't that the ultras have that insane armor and look untouchable and unkillable. It's the fact that we still don't understand why Marauders were nerfed between Legacy of the Void and Heart of the Swarm. Yeah. Because Marauders beforehand could still deal, like, I think the old Marauder damage was good enough to deal with the new Ultralisk armor, but the new Marauder damage, and for those who don't know the context of what I'm talking about, the Marauder damage is the exact same, but it was split into 2 different attacks, which means armor applies twice, which means if you have 7 damage on the Ultras, or sorry, 7 armor on the Ultras, it actually mitigates 14 damage per round on those Marauders instead of just 7 like it used to in the past. So instead of 23 damage getting through, it's barely like 14. It's so ridiculous. So Marauders just tickle things now, and it's infuriating watching this because they gave no real reason for it. There was no balance call for it, and then they buffed the hell out of Zerg and never nerfed them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to analyze that game too much because Journey was already like dying because of the early push.
Yeah, that game was gonna go that towards a loss no matter what. It's just we got to see the exemplified ridiculousness of Ultralisks.
Right. So, like, my complaint with the Ultra is twofold. One, the Marauder, like, you know, taking back the nerf would be the easiest attempt at a small fix, I feel. Like, the Marauder wouldn't suddenly become OP versus Protoss.
It might not even fix it either. We don't know. That's the problem. They never tested it to see.
But then also, that the armor just, like, it makes them better units, yes. And they were, like, throw units in Heart of the Swarm, but just not in a very, like, fun fashion. So
when you actually see, like, the top tier watching Beyond on his A game versus somebody who's playing on their A game with Ultras, those are actually really fun games to watch. But it's so impossibly difficult to get to that point right now. And it's not that Terran players don't know Ghosts are good. It's that Ghosts are too expensive to go for. It's that it's too difficult to actually get the counters out.
It's like, you know, Journey, he might have, you know, seen like the Infestation Pit and maybe was like, okay, he's going to go fast Ultras. He might also thought they were going to be Fungals. Like, because there's some builds out there with that too.
Yeah.
But anyways, even if he did think that it was going to be Ultras, like, what do? You afford Ghosts, but only like 3 Ghosts and not much of an army besides that? Is that going to really be worth it? That's why, you know, usually it is that the late game that you can barely afford Ghosts, but at least you can sort of.
Right. And so the thing that bothers me with all this aside, like whatever the answer is or isn't, is that we didn't get, like, we had like 8 months or 7 months or whatever of the beta. And for those who don't know, Zomgrab and I cast almost every single day of the beta. So we got to see more of it than anyone else. And the infuriating part was they never really experimented with it. It never got touched. It never got played with.
Yeah, it
just went live.
Because, like, you know, there was the initial, like, oh my god, Ultra's so stupid, and then people were starting to win in the mid-game, so you didn't see the test on the Ultras. Now we're seeing it a lot of the time, but now it's being skewed because of Beyond.
Actually,
this final is so important because it shows that Beyond really is this, like, wonder of the world. Journey gets to a final, sure, so he's obviously decent, but nowhere compared to what Beyond would be doing with True right now.
The Wonder Kid. Oh, man. But, alright, so anyways, anything we talk about for balance right now, of course, I just want to really stress, guys, we want to encourage critical thinking. We want people to look at this game outside of just, like, lol, they A-moved and win. Because, unfortunately, it's not going to be up to us. It's not going to be up to any individual. It's about what the community reacts to and how you guys at lower levels even play the game. It's a lot less important than how the pros play. Pros make up for, like, less than 1% of all players that play StarCraft 2.
Oh, well, these Hellions getting some early game damage could really help Journey. You know, he's already down 2-0. That game did draw on a lot faster than it maybe looked like it would have, so he's not entirely tilted, but it'd be really nice if he got some drone kills and just started to feel a little more momentum in his play. He's going for a Banshee. He has taken some damage in both games. Remember, it was the Reaper the Reaper Rush, and then it was the Ravager Rush. So he never really got an opportunity to defend against the Ravagers that well. With a Banshee and not really a huge attack on the way, he should have a much better mid-game. And hopefully he'll run with that and actually take a game off of True.
Yeah, it just occurred to me too. We need nice username to make it how it looks versus how it feels fighting Ultralisks.
They take no damage.
Yeah.
Just run through the whole
have
thing.
700 Marines shooting it and just have it dance.
Yeah.
Quinn finally gets low. Quinn just walks in and transfuses it once back to full health.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, if you're watching this VOD, get on it, my friend.
Well, True is going for what Soul Key showed us, most likely, I should say. You can still go for basically a multitude of compositions as Zerg. You can go into Roach Hydra. Soul Key even tried like Ling Hydra. That was weird though. I don't necessarily suggest it. But it is not going to be Roach Ravager into Ling upgrades. He is... No, wait, no, Soul Key got Aspire too. Never mind. This does look very familiar. So if a melee upgrade comes down, we all know what's going to be like if you're watching the Soul Key games.
Alright, well the Queen's pushed the Banshee back. Sorry, my mouse went a little bit silly there. Hellions aren't gonna...
melee.
Oh. If this ends up being Roach Ravager, I don't think that's so bad. If this ends up being Roach Ravager Corruptor, or maybe it goes to Hydraling Muta, that weird composition we've been seeing, but I don't know. This is I feel like no matter what True does, being up 2 in the series does give him the availability to just try whatever he'd like versus Journey.
Yeah. So, we'll have to wait and see what he does to complement these roaches. I mean, certainly he'll be using them for Ravagers as well, but anything beyond that, like, is it going to be Corruptors or Mutas? Is he going to go into Hydras? Maybe like a Fast Infestation Pit too? Like, all could be interesting combinations. What?
Olimoleague should be the balance design leader. She says, you want to make ghosts? Just kill your Marines and they come back as ghosts. Yes, that's what you should do. That's how you balance Terran. You have all the Marines die to the Ultralisk, then they become really stupid ghosts. Ooh.
Yeah, that would be balanced so well.
It'd be like Lord of the Rings when that pirate ghost army comes in and saves the day. That would be the Marines that all died to the Ultralisks. That's the balance. Olimoleague for David Kim's job, 2016. Do it, guys.
Vote for Olimoleague.
Change.
So the oh, I forgot the Banshee. It wasn't really doing too much, but here it is, just keeping the roaches off his side of the map. Mutas are on the way though, and obviously they'll be able to snipe the Banshee. But Journey's already quite prepared for a push. His upgrades have finished. Oh, he's dropping. Hope he doesn't run right into those mutas. But he has his upgrades. His combat shields won't quite be done. Oh my God.
What?
That would have been close.
He saw this with the Ling underneath it. I was gonna say, like, why would he back away from it? But now he unloads the Marines.
Alright, there's enough here. And they're all like drawn out and spread out without medevac, so it still ended up not being a great drop.
That Viking's just like, don't notice me, please. I'm not here. Hellions. Chat's starting to hell bats. Gonna get to this mineral line. Good luck, Lings.
There are so many roaches and ravagers on the way though. I mean, these mutas, they were almost like a fake. Obviously they're still useful. They're cleaning up the hellbats, they'll clean up medevacs, they might pick off a tank, but he goes right back into nothing but roaches and ravagers, and it is going to be that mid-game bust that can be very hard for Terrans to defend against. You know, it's hard to read with so many compositions and timings available for the Zerg player as to what you should be doing. Should I be attacking because they're going to hive despite getting roaches like Soul Key does, or should I be defending because they're going to go for a huge push like True's doing right now?
Oh! Well, Journey takes a huge chunk of hits from those Corrosive Vials, and the good half of his Marine side of the front lines. Medevac goes with it too. Tanks on the backside are going to help just a little bit, but he's got to stop eating this damage. One very characteristic thing we see, I just want to point this out through this fight, Journey walks away from Corrosive Vials. We watch players like Beyond walk forward through them. So instead of running away from the Corrosive Vial, pushing even closer and hugging the faces of the Ravagers. Now that's not hugely distinctive on like why this fight went good or bad, but it is a very different way that we see even approaching this fight. It's not just the units, it's how you handle the units. Because if you're running away from the Ravagers, you're actually losing a lot of damage with those Marines, getting out of range of it, then having to run back in. Whereas if you run towards them, you sprint towards the danger, you do more damage, and you don't run out of range of it, and you constantly apply that pressure.
He's got on the main base. Journey doesn't have any missile turrets prepared, so doing a little bit of damage while he recuperates and gets more roaches and more Ravagers. The Ravagers also, you know, speaking of the Corrosive Bile, they didn't start targeting those tanks. There's only 2 of them, but that one tank in the back probably could have gone down a lot quicker and not dealt nearly as much damage as it did. But True is still up about 70 supply. It's, it's Ruins of Serranos, but it is those horizontal spawns, so his relatively slow roaches are still, they're reinforcing still pretty quickly. And Journey has another push to deal with.
I gotta give a shout out, whether people are agreeing or not with opinions in chat, we're seeing a lot of passion today, and I'm loving that. Like, the discussion in chat, that's what needs to be happening more. That's what helps encourage changes in StarCraft. So keep it up, guys. Big love. Unfortunately, though, for Journey, he is being beaten back and beaten to a pulp at the same time. Roaches and Ravagers pushing in just a little bit too strong. And whether it's small stylistic ways to take the engagement or maybe just getting too overwhelmed, at the end of the day, he's gonna barely stop this push, maybe, question mark, but even if he does, he's pulling his CVs into it. His opponent's got a 4th base while this goes on. There's so much good going for True behind this, but he is dedicating a lot. Like, you'll notice he stopped teching, he's not advancing forward, he is trying to just brute force end the game, and it's getting so close to being that point.
Ooh, yeah, he's just trying to end the game here. Just pure and simple. I mean, he could try and go for maybe Hydras behind this or an Infestation Pits as well and go to Hive, but really just brute forcing it. Journey might get away with a drop here. It is only 1 drop of Marines, so a couple Roaches staying back home would be able to deal with it. Scans that army, and that is still a very scary army.
This, once again, drawing back from the Corrosive Biles, not working out too well for him. That tank just kind of doing the best it can, but it's 1 tank, and this army supply is a little too massive. GG. Ladies and gentlemen, not only will True win this week's Olimoleague, he will now qualify, I believe, for the monthly finals, which, again, is the combination of November and December with a little bit of extra sugar on top, so $1,000. Here at the end of the month for these players to compete for. Winning this doesn't necessarily mean he's automatically in no matter what, but as long as True plays in even like 1 or 2 other Olimoleagues, he's pretty much locked down a spot for that invite. So congratulations to him. Now, of course, like we said, guys,